morning of day 3, I think now. Start of day 3. Falls are up pretty good today. I think it's supposed to be like 2 or 3 meters, long rollers. I'm sure the camera's not doing it justice. We're sailing with a code 0 and a main. Overnight we were beating pretty well upwind in about 18, 19, close hauled. That's part of the game here, getting out of the City Cortez area though. We basically can't trade any of our height, meaning head further south until we get past Clarion. It was because the trade winds are dead below those islands, so it's known to be a bit of a beat. It's known to be a bit of a washing machine because there's a lot of current coming out of the Baja Peninsula and through the City Cortez. So basically par for the course of what we're doing right now. You know, they say the first 4 days will be tough, and then you can bear off and run downwind, which is what the typical Pacific crossing should be like. So that's what we're doing. Not terribly uncomfortable, definitely done worse. Speeds aren't great. Swells are slowing us down a little bit, but I'll take it. I'm just glad not to be motoring.
Oh, it's always been inside the sock.
What?
It's always been inside the sock.
Oh god.
Code 0 just blew up.
That's not good. We really need that sail. When did it blow up? What, 2 minutes ago? Yeah. The spike to 16 apparent. She's not blown up the sail though.
16 apparent, that's only
15 true.
15 true. It's not enough to blow it up.
No, it must be old. I guess it's 4 years old now. Maybe it's just heavy use.
Let's take a look at.
I'll pull it down.
Let's take a look at the damage, and we can.
Did you film it with the damage at all?
No, I didn't get it on film.
Might be able to tape it up, but
we were really counting on this sail for this crossing, and we're only on day 3, so.
I mean, maybe I should have had it up. It's like perfectly reasonable. It's my fault, I don't think. Yeah. Dry it out and see if we can repair it.
Hard to tell because it's ripped off. I think you have to unwind it more.
It's just like shredded. Shouldn't be able to do that. It didn't go to panel, just went straight up to the nylon.
Yeah.
You can see like that's where that connected. So we probably could tape it. I don't know if they'd use like mainsail tape or the blue Spinnaker tape. It probably would work for our application for temporarily.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna wait for the sail to dry before we bring it down below. And unravel it. It's definitely disappointing because the code 0 is a very important part of our sail inventory for this crossing. We can do it without it.
The staysail is like the perfect gap in our inventory between like staysail and ASIM and Genoa, so we kind of use it a lot for passage making because it's on a furler, and the kite's not on a furler. And it's big, so you know when it's blowing 9 true and you're reaching, it's a great sail to have.
And then the staysail we can't use under.
The staysail will help if we have to run dead downwind and we want to do double head sails. We'll still use a staysail, so it'll be Genoa staysail instead of code 0
but
staysail.
But we can't use it under a certain amount of wind.
It'll still stabilize us, but it's not going to power the boat like a giant 500 square foot sail would.
Yeah.
You know, we're losing.
We're expecting.
We're losing that 700 square. We usually do 900 square feet projected forward with our code 0 in Genoa. We're going to be doing 750, so we're losing, you know, a third of power or something.
We just blew up our favorite sail, but life's unpredictable, which is something I've learned over the last year, which is why I'm very happy to announce that this week's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. I am a huge believer in therapy. If you follow our channel, you know that this past year and a half has been a doozy for Bill and I. As a result, I have to receive semi-annual checkups for my body, but equally as important is prioritizing my mental health, which is where therapy comes in. Almost 1 year to the day of my first surgery and the challenges of healing that followed, I am back and crossing the ocean, our dream that was put on hold when I got sick. We can't control what happens to us in life, but how we frame events internally has a significant impact on us. And therapy can help us understand and change our mindsets for the better. Mental health is critical in navigating and overcoming life's challenges. And if there's one thing I've learned in the last year, it is that we are nothing without our health. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who's trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. After you answer a few questions, BetterHelp will match you with a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. And the best part is you can do it all from your phone or your computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. And usually you'll be matched to a therapist within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. Visit betterhelp.com/Calico during sign up and receive a special discount on your first month. We've also turned a little bit more off the wind to kind of get to our next waypoint, which is basically Clarion Island. And in doing that, the sea state has come down a bit, so we've been kind of at like anywhere between 60, 50, and 40 degrees today. And now we're at 90, which is the beam and is more pleasant.
All right, so we are just about entering, well, let me back up. There's 4 phases of this passage. The first phase is getting from La Cruz to Clarion Island, which is about 500 miles west mostly. And the reason we do that is because if you look at the way the high pressure is set up, you can see we're over here right now. And there's a North Pacific high that's spinning clockwise like this. And over here, when we first got out, back here, you can see the wind just come straight down the Baja Peninsula, and we're beating upwind to go west. It's becoming more comfortable because the wind's starting to curve from behind a little bit. We're on a beam reach now, as opposed to close hauled. But the reason we have to go out to Clarion is when you can see, as we advance this, there is a thing called the Tropical Express hitting California up here somewhere that displaces the high pressure. And you can see if you try to go directly from here to the Marquesas, you wind up in an area with no wind. So the trades just don't make it down there.
Yeah, where that blue is. So that's why we had to resist the urge to go south, and we had to go west and beat into the wind for the last 2 days, because had we allowed ourselves to go further south, we would have ended up in that blue area with no wind. So now, because we've stayed higher up, we're gonna be in this green zone where there's still wind.
So yeah, basically this area is displaced with a void of wind, but the high pressure is still active over here, and we still have good downflow coming from that high pressure. So that's why we have to work our way west, and you have to resist the urge to not go upwind. So it wasn't comfortable at times to be bashing to 20 knots, but we have done well, and it's starting to pay dividends because now we're starting to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, and now that
the wind starts to fall off.
Yeah,
really
now that we're below that tip of the Baja, we're at 90, so we're on the beam.
Yeah, so you can see on our tracks, we basically went as hard upwind as we could, and you can see it started out okay, but we did get like knocked down here pretty good. And then knocked down here again. So you can see 2 distinct dips. And that was just the wind's coming straight down the Baja, making it like a northwest. But it's becoming more northerly as we enter the high pressure zone over here. So right now we're aiming to go between San Benedicto and this island here, which is Socorro. And then we're gonna continue on our way to Clarion. I don't even know if we'll have to head up to go to Clarion. I might just like skirt down that. It's a pretty good heading from here. You know, we're doing close to 7 knots, so, and it's much more comfortable. From here, Clarion is 260, so day and a half, I guess.
That's what I was just gonna say, yeah.
So that means we'll be starting really to turn into the northeast trades in a day and a half or so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we blew
We have a day and a half to fix our sail.
I know, I said unfortunately we blew up the Code Zero, which is one of our main inventories for trade when running, especially in lighter trades. We'd be double head sails, but I hope we could fix it. I mean, if not, we'll figure something out. We still have the asymmetric, we still have a staysail, so we still could do double head sails. A little bit of adjustment.
There's
to the
always
passage.
an adjustment period in the beginning.
A, we haven't been at sea in really at sea for a long time. You know, multi-days. And also, we both are sick. So that's not our energy isn't where it should be. And it's also been a 8-week run-up of just everyday work on the boat or something. So I think we're all a little worn down, and so it's been hard to film at night and stuff, especially when the boat's heeled over and we're just bashing our way upwind. But
the water turned color probably a day and a half ago, a beautiful blue and beautiful out in the cockpit. We haven't started fishing yet. I'm surprised. We must be a little tired. Yeah.
This is like tuna water to me, but we just haven't really had the energy. I guess priority number one now is when we fix the sail tomorrow. Hopefully when things die out a little bit. If we can.
Good job, Captain.
First real meal. What has it been, 2.5 days?
Yeah, I didn't know how much I needed this. My illness is kind of back today, and so my nose hurts and my throat, and this is hot and delicious. Thank you, honey. Really good. Water is the most beautiful shade of blue. It's sparkling today. It got bluer yesterday, but today it has that really deep blue, beautiful blue color that I remember from being way offshore in our old passages. So yeah, staring at it is amazing, and it's sunny. So, and the motion's a lot more comfortable now, so I think maybe the challenges of the first 3 days are possibly behind us. So that is a good feeling. And I can see some birds in the distance, which sometimes mean the whale. Never know, they're way off there. But I'm gonna enjoy just sitting here. Bill made me a coffee right there, and Bill's just shaking out the reef right now because the wind has come down. It's only blowing 11 knots true, and I think that's pretty much the forecast said too, so that makes sense. Yeah, just gonna enjoy it while it's nice and worry about fixing our sail tomorrow. Yeah. How big would you say these waves are?
I think the forecast said 2.5 meters.
Yeah, they look pretty big actually, but they're spaced out really nicely.
I'm just checking out our rigging while I'm up here.
Are you checking the rig?
Just looking around, you know?
Yeah.
I noticed a couple of lines are dragged in the blocks, things you don't see at night when you're doing reefs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just looking around.
Good.
Look for trouble. the sun is out. Another beautiful day out here. Putting in like 70 amps net of everything, all on autopilot. That's a lot of power coming in. 1200 watts, pretty good. We're only down 100 amps right now, so if the sun stays up, we should be able to recharge via solar out here. Debating on when to make our turn south finally. We're about 150 miles from Clarion Island. Ran the weather. It looks like we can turn, but it's probably more conservative to keep going west just to make sure we stay in the trade wind belt, which I think is what we're going to do for another half a day or a day. Weather updates in about 40 minutes, so I'll double check that. It's lightened up significantly. It's kind of a little after the beam here, doing in the 5s. We've still not repaired our code 0. I hope we have enough tape. It's a pretty big hole, and I hope it holds, but I think we're going to tackle that at some point today.
I feel better finally.
Grace is feeling better. We're not as sick, which is good. We're just enjoying sitting in the sun, drinking coffee. There's some blueberries with a lot of sunscreen on. And yeah, it's going well. I would love to get this code 0. That's the one thing that's really bothered me, because we have a lot of downwind miles to go. We're about to attempt to see if we have even enough tape to repair this code 0. It's quite a large tear. I found a bunch of different colors. It's not going to look good. But we're going to try to unroll it in the cabin and see if we could just patch it up so we have it for the passenger at least. I think it's likely time for a new one. I didn't realize it's had for like 4.5 years, and it's nylon. It's been in the sun for hundreds of hours. So wish I had thought about that before we left, but it is what it is. It was on my list. Felt like it was a brand new sail to me. Time just goes so quickly.
When you say we have a lot of different colors, you mean that we have a lot
tape.
of different color of sail tape.
Yeah, so it's going to look a little absurd.
Yeah, because it's long.
The Beverly Hillbillies are back, kids. You thought we had our act together, but we don't. So, do 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 do. So, upon further evaluation, I don't think we can repair the sail here. It failed at the tape on the leech of the sail. You can see this is where it's supposed to be supported. This is stronger than the nylon. This would translate the load to our sheets, and it just failed right out of here. Probably UV damage. That's where all the load is occurring, but I don't think a tape job is going to provide the structural strength needed in order to get that sail properly repaired. And it's on the majority of the leech, so it's probably like 40, 50 feet. If we had a sewing machine on board, it's a possibility, but to get everything lined up geometrically, because you can't have it pulling on any edges for a sail repair, because that'll just make it pop out. So without a loft, I think it's unfortunately a done deal. So that's a bummer, but it is what it is, and at least we didn't waste our time trying to repair it too long. I guess I'm gonna have to set up some other downwind configuration, so maybe I'll get our staysail set up on decks. We have our double head sails, and get the kite ready to go, I guess. That's our workhorse, so that's like that was my secret weapon for the whole crossing. Breaking Waves got one as a result of talking with us, and they're over there somewhere with the code 0 up. The irony. But at least someone will have it. And they're 4 miles south of us still. It's on day 4. We've traveled like 450 miles and we're still within 5 miles of each other. That's pretty rare, I'd say, for ocean crossings. Whenever we've done passages with friends, we usually lose touch of each other fairly quickly. It's it's hard to keep boats moving at a similar pace. But that's a bummer about the 0, but now we know.
Smells really good.
Looks good though.
Smells good.
Booby cheese.
Bill just whipped up some raviolis for us. It smells good. And I'm sitting out here enjoying the sunset.